What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Sync Hustle Mindset live stream. I am the producer Whisper. We do this every Friday. We talk about all things sync, hustle, and mindset because if your mindset is impaired, then your hustle is impaired. And we correct that every Friday here at the Sync Hustle Mindset live stream, man. It's been a crazy Friday. We're going to have a great live stream today. It's been a crazy week. My goodness. I don't even want to start talking yet until some people get in here because we got some stuff to discuss today. It's a little bit serious today, guys, because this week was crazy for your boy over here at Smash Coast. Like we had some really great um, briefs coming in, um, and just having difficulty filling these briefs, man. And so we're gonna talk about ways that not only can you guys learn how to interpret briefs better, but how to level up overall in sync licensing? Because if you're trying to get to these higher levels in sync, you're gonna have to learn how to read these briefs and interpret these briefs. Um, so, with all that being said, welcome to another Sync Hustle Mindset live stream. And yeah, so I'm a little bit early. I wanted to pop on here and give you two time to reach out to everybody and let everybody know that I'm on here. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit here for a second and take care of some stuff. I know we'll have the usual people over here, but no complaints, man. Overall, it was a really good week, very productive week. I know some of you guys are worried about, or not worried about. You guys are wondering about our library that we're putting together, and we're in the midst of putting together right now. We're going to be launching that pretty soon, man. So it's a very tedious process. We have a lot of titles. Got to make sure everything is straight in the PRO. Make sure all of the stuff is in order before we launch because we're going to open immediately to our clients, and we don't want any issues. So it's better to take your time and do it the right way than to rush, and you know what I mean. So see how I'm looking on camera. I'm looking kind of crazy. So yeah, man, this is the last Sync Hustle Mindset live stream before uh you see me in Atlanta next week at the Shades of Sync conference. Uh November 4th, Saturday is gonna be really, really dope, man. A monumental event. I'm so happy to be involved in it. So many great sync educators and producers and composers are involved. I just had a phone call with my guy Gildy Flores the other day, so um, he's gonna be there. He's actually going out to Atlanta, and I'm so happy because that's my brother, man. That's my hermano. So we're actually our flights get in basically like an hour apart. So we're going to staying in the same hotel, going to the hotel together, and it's just gonna be dope, man. My heart is just filled with excitement for this event. Not only because I get to see some people that I've been wanting to see for a long time, but this is a first time event, for something like this. This is a one of those things where um, um, inclusion and diversity are at the forefront, because if you've been in sync for a while like I've had, that sync licensing generally isn't a very diverse thing. There's not a lot of minorities, um at least at the mid and upper levels of sync. And I'm not talking about just on the creative side. I'm talking about music supervisors, sync agents, etc. So an event like this is very cool to show that you know minorities are in the space. We are working to, elevate our status in the space, and we're giving each other a leg up. So that's not saying that if you're not minority, you shouldn't come, because like, all is welcome, of course. But it's a special event, so I'm glad to be part of it. Um, and there that is there as I'm looking at zero numbers, and I'm am I 11 o'clock yet? I'm not even 11 o'clock yet, so I did come in kind of early. Oh, I have to give a special shout out to my assistant ChatGPT. What's up, ChatGPT? Um, very glad to have you around. You've been very, very helpful this week. Actually, you've been very helpful since we've discovered you. For all of you guys that aren't hip to ChatGPT and aren't using it yet to, increase your workflow or whatever it is you need it to do, you ought to get on there and just play around, man. That's what I did at first. I know it can get a little bit tedious and complicated when you're dealing with stuff like that. So just keep an open mind, get on there and play around, ask it to do stuff, ask it to, ask it questions, kind of treat it like Google, talk to it like it's a person. Um, and I even saw a YouTube video that said we should actually show appreciation when we talk to ChatGPT because we never know when AI is going to rise up and judge the humans. So I actually do that. As silly as it sounds, I'll get on there and I'll say, okay, ChatGPT, I have a project for you. Do you mind helping me out? And ChatGPT will answer like a person and say, yes, of course. What do you need? I'm here for you. And it's kind of scary. I know that it's a conversation model, but it's scary when you can talk to it like that and it just answers you like a person. If you get into it deep enough, you know, over a period of time, you might not even be able to discern the difference between it and a real person. So who knows? Who knows? So we're still a little bit early. So I might even pop off of here and pop back on. That's what I might do. Where are we at? Now we're 11 o'clock. We're gonna stay on here. That's me being impatient. I'm trying not to talk too much in these early phases right now because I have a lot to say today and I want you guys to hear it while I'm saying it. It's cool for you to come back to the video and check it out later, which I appreciate. If you do, the more views, the better. But I really, I really want to address some things with you guys today because I got some issues. I had some issues this week, and I'm really concerned because I'm praying that you guys aren't making the kind of mistakes that I witnessed this week. Because if you are, then it's going to be very detrimental to your sync career. So we're going to be talking about that today. Petro, what's up? Happy Friday, man. How you doing? First one in here. You having a busy day today? Me too, man. I think my tired is just age related as well, because I haven't been really physically exerting myself, but golly, man, this week mentally, it's slowing down so I can finish this website. Excellent. Telling you, man, sleep is all that. You gotta sleep. It's funny because I was talking to my girlfriend a couple days ago, just laughing. I had these random thoughts about getting older, right? And I was talking to her about the things that you prioritize as you get older. And um, like even when I moved out here, I was 37, 2003. And the stuff that I wanted was like, I'll admit it was like more materialistic. All I could think about was, I don't get this money, so I get these cars and this and that, whatever. And I still think about material things and actually spending money on material things, but the things have changed. So now I'm like, I don't mind spending 2 or 3 grand, 3 or 4 grand on like bedding, a bed, mattress. That's what we're trying to level up next because like, these things are important. Getting a good night's sleep, the stuff you eat, that kind of thing is funny. Furniture, Oh, we need the better furniture. I want a more comfortable couch. We are actually the other day talking about buying two recliners. You know what I mean? So that's funny. Let me look at the comments. We will talk about that new track because of the sample, but I'm loving the NPC again. So true. You change your life prescriptor as you go. Yeah, exactly. Kimmy Kim, what's up, Kimmy? Grand Rising. Here you go. So you said your bed was 4 grand. We got it used for 300 and it weighs 500 pounds. It's so comfortable. Yeah, man. You can't really skimp on that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter when you're younger, like you'll crash out on the floor with a pallet, but a bad night's sleep can be due to a bad mattress. And so now I'm at that point where it's time to level up, man. I'll go spend some money on a uh we were talking, me and my girl were talking yesterday, and I was telling her that the next bed that we get, I need to be able to adjust my side of it. I want to be able to adjust my softness, because sometimes I don't want it all the way firm. Sometimes I don't want it too soft. And I want to be able to adjust the incline of it too. And if possible, I'd also like to be able to adjust the temperature of it, just because, I want to be as comfortable as I can every night in my older age. That's funny. Can't skimp on that. Yeah, exactly. I'm picky about food. So we're gonna hang around in here for a little bit and just chit chat about whatever, whatever, until some people get in here. But Petro, man, the quality of your sports beats, man, if we could get you to knock out a bunch of those per week consistently, we could get you on the boards consistently. Stop using samples. Get away from them samples, man. Just stop for a minute. Force yourself out of that comfort zone. I gotta do it because I'm a sample based producer too, man. I do the same thing. I stay in Splice all the time or whatever, and I'm chopping up stuff or whatever. But for TV film, you gotta like you gotta come off the cuff most of the time, especially when you get into the area where they're like sending you briefs and that kind of stuff. I mean, you use the loops and stuff when it's apropos, but for the most part, you gotta learn how to come off the cuff, man. And if you're not very musical as far as like playing keys or playing an instrument or whatever, just remember less is more. You can do a lot with less, especially when you're working with recording artists. I told you that before. So when we're doing sports music, if you're doing say like horn lines or whatever, and plus I'll collab with you, dude. If that's the case, I can play all them horn lines and stuff. Just send it, if as long as the VST is authentic sounding, is real brass or real strings or whatever, like, I can replay all that mess. So don't even worry about that. But the thing is like you need to get into the space where it's like, okay, you making music every day, every other day, every week for this. So, we can train the music supervisors that this is what you do, because that's what in essence a sync agent does. Like, a lot of people think that they just drop music off and then we go hunt placements for them, and we do that to some extent, but our job essentially is to create a working relationship between you guys and our clients. And the only way that we can do that is if they see you guys' music coming across the table consistently, whether you guys are getting the placements or not. As long as you guys are demonstrating the fact that you're hungry, consistent, and you have an understanding of what's going on. Sync, say for instance with briefs, I don't want to talk about right now, we'll get into it a little bit, but then you start to win, because these entities are usually under pressure. They're under pressure to get these projects done in a certain time period. And so when they find somebody that they can depend on, they lean on that person. They don't like going and finding a new producer or composer every other week, for their shows and stuff. They want a core team that they can always count on. And all it takes is consistency. You know, all of you guys already know how to make music and all that stuff, but all it takes is consistency and and patience, you know, because it does suck that sometimes it takes a long time to get a bite. But the fact that you could potentially get a bite is enough reason to stay in the game to me. I mean, you know, some people might have different opinions. I was looking at some of Clint's stuff this week, and he gets the craziest questions from people. Like, saw somebody inquiring to him about, like, you know, is sync as lucrative as they say it is? You know, it's kind of like the attitude is like, you know, outside looking in, it looks like sync, you make a ton of money. People are scared to do it unless it's easy. They don't want to get in and like do the work. You know, oh, y'all making money over there? Let me come over here and drop some music off somewhere or whatever, not realizing what it really is. Then, you know, that it's a long game, not a short game. Um, but it's so cool to me because just having the opportunity to even get your music heard or get your music seen is a reason to keep going and not quit. When I see questions like that, like, you know, what if, you know, I heard it's too saturated, or what if this or what if that? My question to them is like, what are the alternatives? While you guys are asking questions and acting scared and intimidated or worried that it's not going to be an instant windfall, what are your other options with the music? You know, beat stores. I'm not gonna knock beat stores. Some people making good money on beat stores. But as far as comparing it to what sync can do for your career, how sync can actually establish a career for you, like what can you compare to it? I don't understand if people aren't gonna try to, you know, get their music synced, or delve into sync licensing, like what else are they gonna do with their music? You know, you can self-release, which I also encourage, because music supervisors and sync agents like us, we're always looking for new people. So we look for those new releases. But I don't understand how anyone, especially in this day and age with in streaming where we're not making any money on sales of music, is not going to, I don't see how people don't incorporate sync licensing into their hustle. Now I can understand some of us are basically replacing that hustle with sync licensing. So we were pursuing something else, and now we're like, you know, we're trying to make a go of it with sync and make sync the main thing. Um, and I get that. That's what I've done. I've seen many people do it. They're not worried about selling records no more or streaming records. They don't even deal with that. A lot of my peers don't have beat stores or nothing like that. If anything, instead, they'll have like you know, because they've made so much music for TV film or so much music over the years. So they'll have like kit, you know, drum kit sites or loop sites, or, you know, chord sites or that kind of thing. Um, one shots and that kind of thing or whatever. But you don't really see guys that are taking sync seriously doing all of that other stuff, because they realize what sync can actually do for you versus these other things. Um, these other things are basically set up, you know, for you to chase the money. You know, a beat site can get you popularity, but for the most part, and you can tell by the way these guys sell beats on beat sites, that it's for money. It's a money grab, you know. And I would say that there's nothing wrong with that, but the OG in me can't tell you guys that, and the unk in me can't sit there and tell you that chasing money is the right thing to do. Chasing money is not the right thing to do. Hustling to try to get paid is not the right thing to do. If you're going to expend your energy into something, you expend your energy into yourself, and you make yourself attractive to money. And you do this by investing in yourself, and you learn the things that you need to learn, you gain the tools that you need to gain in order to get to that professional level, to where people want to pay you money for what you do. They want to pay you money for what you make, instead of you going and chasing them down and saying, hey, I got 5 beats for $5. I got 20 beats for $10 or whatever. Buy one, get 5 beats free or whatever. That, to me, that cheapens the game. I'm not going to discourage anybody, because everybody has to hustle the way that they have to hustle. Everybody's not going to do sync. And I dare say that sync isn't for everybody. But with all that being said, if you are creating music, if you are an indie artist, if you're creating, if you're producing music, sync should be a part of your hustle. Now, if you don't have the bandwidth to do it yourself, then collaborate with people that are already in the space that are winning in the space. You see that are getting placements. Just make sure that when you approach them, you bring in value to them. Don't ask them, hey man, I got some beats, can you get my beats on TV? Yeah, they absolutely can get your beats on TV, but approaching them that way is like, career suicide. No matter what you do with your hustle, it is always easier to get progress when you bring value to the situation versus what can you get out of it. Anytime that you're going to come and build upon something, people are going to jump to work with you to do that. It shows a lack of selfishness. It shows, team player awareness, all kinds of stuff, right? So I know it's cliche, you've heard out there people say, "Oh, the best way to get stuff to happen for you is to help others." And it is cliche to a certain extent, but in business, yeah, it's not about quote unquote helping others. It's about bringing value to a situation that can help you. Everybody knows you need the help, you need some sort of assistance, you need a leg up, you need the partnership, collaboration, or whatever. So that goes unsaid. So coming to the situation asking what you can get is like crazy. You always come talking about what you can bring to it, and people will appreciate that and be faster to help you out in that situation. Let me look in the comments real quick because you guys see I'm running my mouth here. Petrol. Need a horn player. That's why I don't submit those. We appreciate that, but time management, man. Spend for every time you sit down to work on a track or play with a track with a sample, do 5 of them without. I'm not saying get away from them because I'm addicted to them. I can't help but mess with samples. There's so much inspiration and stuff, but being in sync licensing is just, it's suicide. So you can't be worried about that. Sagara, what's up, brother? Cherry, what's up? How you doing? Happy to see y'all. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how far some smacking drums and just a little melody will go. Especially when you're working with artists, you don't got to go all heavy like that. You know, I used to do that too when I was used to producing a lot without artists. You always tend to overproduce. You want to put everything in the track because you don't have that empty space. But when you're working with artists, just do skeletons, man. Just a little drum, something. Let the artist come in and fill in and build around them. Shay Keys, what's up? How you doing? Petro says he's had the best conversation with the EVP of Sony Urban this week. He is so tired of artists who want to be TikTok famous instead of just being talented. That's the label's fault. He can't be mad at the artist for that. The artists, the labels are the ones going out that got rid of artist development, right? The labels are the ones that decided to stop spending money on artist development and to start signing people based on their stream, on their popularity, how many followers they have. So then there's no substance. You got somebody with a viral song, a viral trend. You bring them in and give them a deal or whatever, and then they can't get anybody to buy records or hardly come out and see them because there was no substance. The fan base was artificial. It wasn't built up based on the fans' love of that artist or their content. It was based on the popularity of the moment, a viral moment. And that's how the whole industry is right now. They're just like, and you guys see it. There's no substance in music. There is, but you got to dig on YouTube and find it's in the indie sector. It's not at the labels. You're not going to find any substance at the labels. They're not tripping on that at all. Because they felt like it was easier for them to make money to increase their bottom line by not spending money up front. Smaller signing bonuses, 360 deals, yada, yada, yada. So now here we have a whole culture. I don't know if you guys have been seeing the articles lately, but the music industry is like they're they're dying as far as you know releasing artists that fans gravitate to. There's nobody loves Ice Spice. They'll listen to an Ice Spice song and they'll watch an Ice Spice video, but don't nobody care. But now, there's no Ice Spice fans like Taylor Swift fans. There's no Ice Spice fans like Beyonce fans. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to happen because if you look at the body of work, look at all of the stuff Beyonce and Taylor Swift have been talking about all through the years. A bunch of personal, you know, ro- uh, ro- uh, um, romance or relationship based type stuff, personal stuff. Like you see windows into these people's lives when they make their music. And that's what people gravitate towards because they can relate to it. They're talking about stuff that's relatable. And then now you got these girls, talking about what parts of their anatomy is pink and brown. And you guys know what I'm talking about. And, for some people that might be entertaining in the moment. Um, but there's no substance in that. So no one's going to be able to latch onto that. There's no meat on those bones at all. So so that's just the way it is. Um and it's going to continue to suffer. Nobody's going to spend money on that. Not saying that people aren't going to be entertained. Everybody's down to look at, a viral moment on TikTok or something, or something on YouTube that's popular for the moment. That's what we do now. We're scroll culture. We scroll. But um actually having an artist these days that we're like really feeling, we want to, we know their story or this and that, and you know it's just it's rough, especially in the rap game, man. You talk about rap, it's just horrible, 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 horrible. So let me go to the comments real quick. You guys talk about my birthday. Looking forward to the weekend. Everybody join me in wishing our producer Whisper a very happy birthday this coming Monday. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I forget about that kind of stuff, man. So I appreciate it. Another trip around the sun for your boy. You see the whites. I didn't have none of this when I moved out here. It's all good though. I'm aging like a fine wine up in here. I'm looking in the comments. Hold on. Thank you guys. Happy birthday, everybody. Ice Spice is more towards club boppers, but it's for the moment thing. Yeah, I mean, and it is a trip because, and I agree with you, she's more for club boppers. But at first, when she dropped Munch, because of the content, it didn't seem like that because what she was talking about is basically along the same lines as everybody else was talking about. He ate it for lunch and he's spending his money and that kind of stuff, the same kind of stuff. So it seemed like it was just along the same lines. Now, when the VMAs came, people were actually giving Ice Spice more props because she wasn't out there twerking on the red carpet. She was more composed and seemed to represent the culture a little bit better than a lot of these other female rappers and stuff out there. So yeah, man. Segura, man, you always know what's up. He keeps his eye on things, man. I love that. Petrol says it becomes a distraction for issues in our society, but there's no substance in that, right? Yeah, we could have a whole live about what's going on with music and why it's going on with music. There's definitely an agenda, but we're gonna keep it sync. You know, maybe one day I'll start a regular podcast where we can just get on there and talk about whatever, whatever, because that's we could light it up. A lot of these TikTok artists don't seem to have longevity long term. They can't because they pop out of nowhere and then they're not talking about nothing. So a lot of times people can't even remember, like, unless it's a hot beat, crazy, simple hook or whatever, like there's just nothing to latch onto. So you know, and in the way music is released these days is different. No one releases albums, so you don't have a project in order to get to know an artist over a series of 8, 12, 15 songs. They're dropping 1 minute, 2 minute songs that aren't talking about nothing. So it's just easy for it to evaporate, easy for it to leave quickly. I think it's slowly coming back thanks to indie talent and sync artists. We're gonna eliminate that term sync artists. And you guys going forward, you guys don't want to say that either. You guys don't want to call yourself sync artists or sync producers. You guys are producers, composers, and recording artists. Don't say sync artists, okay? Because then you put yourself in a box. Uh, most sync agents like us, we don't, and it's a double-edged sword. Now, that's not to say we don't want people that have experience in sync. Yeah, we would rather have artists that have a bunch of placements already, or that at least understand sync enough to where if they start working with us, we can just get up and start running, pitching music, getting placements, that kind of thing. It's just marketing yourself, because sync agents want recording artists. We want somebody that's on the verge of, like, that fame and start of that popularity. We would love to be able to, you know, give a hand to somebody to take them over, over the hump from being indie or obscure to at least being known, via a popular television show or film or something like that. But just don't market yourself that way. Market yourself as a recording artist, an indie recording artist, indie producer, indie composer. Don't say sync anything. Cherry, lady producer. Happy birthday, Coach. Thank you, Cherry. I appreciate it. I'm just happy, man. Every day I wake up, I'm happy. I thank God every day I see the sun, I see the twilight, and Lord willing, I make it to Monday. I'm gonna wake up that morning and be like, "Thank you for another one." I thank Him every day. So a birthday is like, okay, yeah, I'm cool, but like I thank Him every day. Shay Key says the content in mainstream music is bad. Absolutely. Okay, so before we get into the meat and potatoes, let's go ahead and get these wins out of the way. I'm excited to see what everybody did this week. I know you guys got some wins for me. So let's go ahead and get it popping while I take a swig of my vitamin water here. Swig of the vitamin water. What's up, Taquan Black? We are in the win section. We talking about the wins. Tay, you can start off. You got a win. You could tell it. I'm tripping out. You guys remember when my camera didn't look like this? Walter, what's up, brother? How you doing? Nice to see you. Taquan Black says, just landed a placement with Netflix. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis for Taquan. Coming through yet again with another one and another one and another one. DJ Khaled voice. Shay Key says, a win came in last night when I received a 911 urgent need brief with a 4-hour turnaround time. I was able to submit because I already had music that fit the brief and the stash. That's what I like to say, man. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Shay Keys. Fire emojis for Shay Keys. At him, let him feel it. Yeah, man, stay ready. And don't you like those fast ones where they're like, we need it right now? 4-hour turnaround. Now, watch, you're gonna have to wait forever to get the placement or wait to get paid. That's just the nature of the business, but it's a blessing, man. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Congratulations. And I love to see that kind of work ethic, man. We need more of that on our team. People that, you know, they get those briefs and can do those fast turnarounds and this and that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit today because I got my feathers ruffled up a little bit this week. So we're gonna talk about it. So who's next up? Next win. Y'all be sleeping on Tay, man, and I'm not gonna say nothing. Y'all be sleeping on Tay, but I'm not gonna say nothing. That's all the wins? I'm really looking over here expecting some wins to pop up. I know there's only a few of us in here right now, but come on, let's go. I got a win. I woke up this morning. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. I'm here. Soon the world will know about you too. Cherry submitted for a couple of briefs this week, so she's keeping it in high gear. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis for Cherry. Petro says Tay gave me a shout. That's a win. Fire emojis. Cherry out there hustling. Pressure breaks pipes, man. So keep the pressure applied. Segura says got a placement on the new Below Deck. Currently in the process of signing an EP to a UK-based library. I'm doing metadata and lyric sheets right now. Ha ha ha. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis for Segura once again. Always coming with that heat, man. Got a placement on Below Deck. So congratulations. And if you know Segura's story, you know that, he went a long time hustling, not getting placements. So for him to be getting placements every week, every other week, that's a testament to what can happen. We really gonna talk about sync today, though, man. Y'all don't understand. I have a bone to pick this week. Keep going, keep them coming in, y'all. Let's go, let's go. Segura says, got to be a bit stubborn with sync. Absolutely. Walter says, I received 2 briefs from 2 different libraries, both due at the same time. Time to turn into beast mode. Exactly. That's a great attitude to have, too. You weren't intimidated by the fact that they both came in at the same time. You're like, man, F this. Let me attack both of them. I'll fight both of y'all. That's what this is. Those that know, that those that get it, get it. You know what I mean? So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Walter. That's beautiful. So how are we doing, guys? Any more? Because we can go ahead and start talking about some stuff here. Okay, I'm not seeing any more pop up. If any more pops up, I'll just read them later, or we can repeat them. So I'll start off with the state of sync this week. The state of sync licensing this week is good and getting better, even better than it was last week. Coming off of the writer's strike, things are back in motion. We see that the music supervisors and the sync agents are back in full swing. The libraries are going crazy right now, taking in new music because everybody wants to stay ahead of the game. Production is ramped back up, and everybody wants to be in place to be able to prosper. So the libraries are being very, very aggressive. So if you guys are making instrumentals, or you guys have music that you can offer exclusively to a library, which is most of the time the case with libraries is exclusive, then I suggest that you get to pitching, man, because now's the time. Um, we're approaching fall fall season here, and it's going to be a windfall for new placements for people. So those that get it will absolutely get it for sure. Um, Going into the topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about this week, that I posted was uh, how to level up in sync. It has to do with my experience this week, man. And I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. I'm not gonna be formal and all YouTube and stuff. I'm just gonna tell you what happened, right? So, because y'all the fam, so I'll tell you guys what happened. So Kim and I, let me give you a little backstory real quick, okay? From the perspective of a sync agent, okay? So you guys know. I let you guys know over time that what we do, a lot of what we do isn't that much different from what you guys have to do in the sense that we have to hustle in order to get the music exposed enough to get placements, right? Same thing you guys have to do. You guys have to expose it to us, music supers, whatever. Same thing we do. We expose it to other sync agents, music supervisors, production companies, like whoever's creating content, we get you guys music to them. A sync agent, um, kind of like a manager, a good sync agent, kind of like a manager, has to believe in the music that they're pushing. So there's a personal element that comes with working with a good sync agent. You know, if you guys know working with Smash Codes, there's communication there. Like you guys can hit us up for stuff. We encourage it. We're communicative with you guys as far as what's needed and that kind of thing. And it has to be that way because, like I said, our job is to get your music in front of clients, develop a relationship with those clients and you so they can keep using your music consistently. You guys need to submit music and submit music correctly and consistently for us to be able to do that, right? So doesn't seem like a very difficult system, but a lot of people don't get it. We have guys on the team right now that don't get that. They don't get the concept of we don't work for you, we work with you. Okay, that's what a sync agent does. You guys work in tandem, hand in hand, in order to get your music placed. You don't just drop music off with someone and then disappear, throw your hands up and be like, okay, now get me placements, right? A person that's going to be successful in the sync game, and when I say successful, I mean like being able to take advantage of whatever sync opportunity they're able to take advantage of, whatever they have the ability to do, they want to be able to be in a position to take advantage of that. What do I mean? So say like if you had the ability to score a cartoon, right? You have that kind of talent, but you don't know anybody. You know, you don't know any cartoon music supervisors, animation music stuff. You don't know anybody in the space or whatever, right? So you want to get to a place where you can take advantage of your skill set. You can get that opportunity because now you know people in that space, or you know somebody that will refer you and that kind of thing. To get to that place where now talent meets opportunity, every bit of your talent meets all possible opportunities, that takes consistency and that takes proactivity. Okay, and that's what I'm really not seeing enough of on, with our agency. You know, we got guys on the team that never hit us up and ask what we need. They're never proactive about sports or holidays or any of the stuff that is very, very vital in sync. You know, they'll drop off 10, 20 songs, 10, 15 songs, however many songs, and then you never hear from them again, right? And then they wonder why those songs don't place. They feel like, and I get it, they feel like I sent them songs, I dropped them off, like I'm on, I signed the contract. Now it's time for me to get placements. Sometimes that can happen. We pitch the music. It's not like the music sits or whatever. We pitch the music or whatever. But just like we tell you guys, if you guys are pitching to libraries, music supervisors, and a couple months go by, 3 months go by, and you don't hear anything, um, a lot of the time it doesn't have anything to do with your music not being good. It just wasn't right, right? So in order to zero in and find out what the needs are to be able to consistently send the right music in, that takes communication. You need to be in touch with people to find out what they need, get to know people. Like I say, our job is to create a working relationship. A relationship means that you have an idea of what they might need without them asking, just like you and your wife, or your girlfriend, you and your husband, you and your boyfriend. Like you know them to a certain extent, so you don't have to ask them everything. You know, this music supervisor works on Stranger Things. You know that they need dark, eclectic electronic music or spooky stuff. You know that da, 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 da. So, and you know how often that they're asking for stuff. So you don't have to always wait to get an email from them. You could be like, hey, so and so, here's a playlist, the new music that I was working on for your show that I already know that you're working on, that I've done my research, my due diligence. And then when you do stuff like that, that supervisor, that entity is going to look at you and be like, oh my God, they get it. I can rely on this person. I can go over here and ask this person to help me out of this situation or take advantage of this placement opportunity or whatever, whatever. But it takes proactivity on your part. There's only so much a library, only so much a sync agent, only so much a music supervisor is going to be able to do. That's why you guys got to get the LLCs. That's why you guys got to sign up for the PROs, because you guys are running businesses. The second that you guys want money for your music, you're running a business, but there's not enough business in the hustle. Yeah, you see that I'm a little bit piffed because we got briefs coming through that's paying really, really good money now because we're direct with the ad companies now. I'm not going to be too detailed with it, but like the least amount of a brief that we got recently from the ad companies was 50 grand. The second one, the next one we got was 150 grand. We're working on a brief right now where the last one we had an opportunity with that we heard of from this entity. I won't say who, but it was a 250. It ended up landed. It was a J-Lo commercial. Okay. A J-Lo Powerade commercial, I think it was. And it was $250,000. And our people got paid 50 grand for it. Right. And this was just a few months ago. So the same people that sent the brief out for that commercial sent us a brief this week for another commercial. And didn't have any pay on it or whatever, but we're already knowing, okay, so these people is, very potentially going to be at least a $200,000 placement, which is going to be at least, $25 to $50,000 for the person that created the music, right? So the brief is very, very straightforward, right? Which most briefs are. All it takes is like really sitting down, reading what the needs of the client are, um, if there's an issue, like especially with the people on our team, they could call us or hit us up and be like, look, I'm having an issue interpreting this brief. Can you go over it with me? We never get stuff like that. People will just be quick to just send the wrong music that has nothing to do with what the brief said, and it's irritating and it's frustrating because it takes a long time for a company like ours to get to a place to where we can offer those types of opportunities that pay that much. And then to send a brief out to people and to know, again, because we've been doing this such a long time, we know who read the briefs and who didn't. We know who just saw, oh, it says sports, and they just sent sports music. They're not even reading it. They're not trying to, client be damned. They're not really trying to service the client. And that's what a brief is. A brief is the client's plea to get serviced in a very specific, oh boy, I should pause, shouldn't have said it that way. The brief is a very, very detailed description of what the client wants musically, right? And it's usually detailed because they want something very specific. It's usually for a commercial or for a specific scene in a show or a movie or something like that. And a lot of the time, so like with our ad company clients, right, their clients are brands. So we're working with a major ad company right now who one of their major clients is Toyota, right? um I mentioned before, like we got a Toyota pitch. The cheapest one was 50 grand, right? So now here's the ad company. The ad company's coming to us because they're expecting us to be able to do what we need to do to make sure they can please their client. They want Toyota to be happy. So when Toyota says, hey, we need some music for such and such and such and such, it goes to the ad company. The ad company puts the brief together and then they send it out to us. We send that brief to you guys, right? So it comes down the line. Ultimately, it's Toyota sending you the briefs. Hey, we want this music. Da, 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 da. If you can't do what's in that brief, Don't send anything, don't reply. If you can do what's in that brief, read the brief thoroughly, right? And then attack it and send in music for that brief. But what you don't want to do is glaze over the brief, right? Don't pay attention to the details. Look at the first couple. Oh, they want sports music. Oh, they want hip hop. Oh, I got hip hop, and then send a bunch of songs where you didn't even read like all down into the brief what they needed. And what's crazy is like 9 times out of 10, the entity will send examples of what they need. They'll send links of what they need. This particular brief that we're working on right now, they wanted instrumentals and full songs, instrumentals if possible, so they could put full songs together. And most of the stuff that we got was just like we couldn't even I don't know, Kim. I think we just had to tell them like we don't have anything for them or something because everything was so far from what the brief said. Is just crazy. And so I say all that to say you guys could tell I'm frustrated because not only are you guys missing opportunities by not paying attention, uh but it hurts us because we're trying to be impressive too, man. I would have loved to been able to send that entity back, within 24 hours, all the music that they needed and locked that up and got that placement. But instead, we had to take more time fishing through a bunch of submissions that were just, I'll just straight up say, god awful, for the most part. Some were cool, but just didn't fit. But most of them were just like, what the fuck? Excuse my language. Um, and that's not going to help people level up and sync, man. So we're gonna go over the levels real quick. Okay. A lot of you guys that are just getting in the game, right? You're doing it in one of two ways. You're either doing it the traditional way, the Anthony Clint way, where you guys are reaching out to music supervisors, they're doing the due diligence, you're IMDBing the shows, seeing who's working on what, the hard work. You guys are doing that. Or on the other side of the coin, you guys are linking up with people that have already done that or are doing that. So you see producers that are getting placements, you guys are doing collabs, right? You see artists that are doing stuff, you guys are doing collabs, which is cool too. This is level one of sync. Usually in these situations, the type of placements that you get are going to more times than not be gratis placements, which means no money up front, all money on the back end, gratis placements, a lot of reality show placements, a lot of sports placements because they do, even though sports pays up front a lot of the time too. But like when you first getting in and you don't really know that much, a lot of the stuff is um a lot of the stuff is gratis. Okay. So when you start getting to a point where you're getting paid syncs up front consistently to anywhere from $500 up or whatever, this is because someone has recognized that you have certain attributes that warrant this. Okay, so maybe that you prove that you're consistent, or that you prove that you have a certain specialty, a knack for doing tension cues or sports music or whatever it is. But someone can depend on you, right? You're not at the very beginning. It's not sync 101. So now you're gonna start getting checks, right? Consistently. And once you start doing that, you're going to learn how to do that. What supervisors are paying what projects are paying what kind of language to talk to people. A lot of people at the beginning at Sync, when you guys are getting placements, we're so happy to get placements. We don't ask anything about compensation. But once you get in the game, you ask, okay, well, what is the budget? Is there an upfront budget? You ask these things. If they say no, it's no, whatever. But you start to be more aware of the types of compensation because you've been in the game longer, right? So you're getting paid. If you're able to get through that level where like, okay, so now you're working on network shows, you're doing more trailers, you're doing more you know Netflix stuff, more promos, not as much just background music, you're doing more featured stuff or whatever. Then the next level up from that is, okay, so maybe you're about to get a commercial, because that's the top of the food chain. But you're going through a third party, you're going through somebody that's already getting them, whatever. You don't have the connection direct with the ad company, whatever, but you're gonna get paid cash up front, right? Um, by the time you get to that level where you're like, you know, the sync is like 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand. Usually there's a brief involved with that. It's not just turn some music into a music supervisor or a sync agent and then like, oh, you got 5 grand coming. Nah, there's usually some work involved some personal, detailed customer service work, like Sagara just said in the comments, in order to get to that kind of money. And then there's a phase there. You're proving yourself. You're working with this level of music supervisor, this level of showrunner or whatever. And then they know. Um, I've I'm I've said this a million times to you guys, but we can know what we know, but ultimately you got to know somebody. Somebody's got to co-sign for you. It's who you know in this game, right? And people, the one thing I love about the sync industry is that people will bend over backwards to help you. They will put you in a situation to help you if they feel like you, if they can depend on you, if they feel like you can go knock that out and you're the person to go to. No one is like trying to keep you from prospering. There's more people in this game that will help you and point you in a direction to get you some money than not. But it takes your willingness to work hard, your willingness to actually have an understanding of this industry. And that's the what I'm really not seeing enough of. I see people that want placements, they make music and they want placements, but as far as the sync industry, they want to just dip a toe in it. They just want to dabble. They don't want to learn what they need to learn in order to really prosper at this game and play the long game. They want to drop some music off somewhere and get some placements and then, live on that live on that rush like that. And it's crazy to me because if you do your due diligence, if you take your time and put the work in, you absolutely can have a whole career. This could be a whole career. Track Shack will tell you. What's up, Track Shack? That's my guy in Arizona. Track Shack is in-house at Telepictures. That's Warner Brothers. Track Shack got more placements than a lot of people. He's you what around 20,000 so far, Track Shack, something like that. So, he's somebody that can tell you the difference between dabbling and like, really dedicating yourself and making it turn into something. I see people ask, what can sync do for you? What can happen? Is like it's what you make happen because the opportunities are there. The fact that music is always going to be needed, music supervisors are always going to need people, showrunners are always going to need music, uh sync agents are always going to need artists and composers and computers. There's always new shows, there's always new movies, there's always new video games. Like forever, there's always going to be new media and new content. So there's always going to be a shot for you to get into it because this is something that you can do. Just like with a record label, there's always going to be music coming from record labels, but you can't control that. See what I'm saying? You got to get a 5 million followers and a bunch of streams and this and that, but there's not steps that you can take that ensure that you go get signed to a record label. And then after that, you have a successful record label career. Like you can do all that and get shelved once you get signed. But in sync, you have a lot more control than people realize, you know, um, just because of the need, just because of the need. If the supervisors and the shows didn't need the music, then it would be a lot harder. But once you get to a certain point and you know the game, it's like, okay, I know how to create the music. I know the rules of the game. I got my PRO set up good. I'm good, right? I know how to network. I this and that. At that point, to me, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. You can't say that with anything else. You can't say that with a record deal. You can't say it's only a matter of time till Atlantic signs me. Man, please. But you can start this sync game from zero, right? I've never done a piece of music for television in my life, right? And in a couple years' time, be getting placements. And in a couple years after that, have a full-blown career where you're either, you know, supplementing your income in a major way or you've replaced your income with sync, right? It's all on the individual and what they're willing to do, but you got to believe it's possible. You got to want it. um and I just saw a lack of a lot of that this week, sending these briefs out. And it's sad because these are people that are signed to smash, they're with us. So I could just imagine out there in the streets people that don't, that aren't with a sync agent or whatever. It's frustrating as hell. It's to the point where we're actually going to be seeking out, we're finding some new people. When I go to Atlanta next week, I'm looking for new people. I need some high level people that understand how to interpret briefs, that are willing to jump in there and get the work done, that know how to communicate. So if they can't do a brief, they're not sending the wrong music in. That's the worst thing you can do, is just send the wrong music in, because that just shows that you didn't read the brief, you didn't give a damn, you just, it's just a bunch that goes with that or whatever. So um I never show you guys this side, where I'm like, lightweight upset about it. But I wanted you guys to see, I want you guys to see, on the other side of the fence, how sync agents and music supervisors and, all of my peers in this space, we get frustrated because we got clients. We're trying to get this music placed just as bad as you guys want it placed, just as bad as you guys want to hear your music. We want to hear your music on there, but we need y'all. We can't do it the way that we can do it if you guys don't do what you're supposed to do, right? We can get down. We'll go in and sell ice to an Eskimo for real. But we gotta have the ice, and it's gotta be the right ice. You give us the right ice, we'll go sell it. That's what sync agents do. And the Smash Coast, we're real dope about that. So but we can only be as consistent as you guys are. We can only go as hard as you guys go. The more you know, the easier it is on us. And ultimately, the more placements you get, the more opportunities you get, the more placements you get. Geez, it was so frustrating this week, man. And you guys know me, so you guys know how competitive I am. I hate getting a brief and not being able to send music to that brief. That sucks. That sucks. That's like $250,000 brief, potentially, at least $200,000 brief, and can't send no music because people didn't read the brief. It's crazy. So yeah, we're gonna be looking for some new people. So made that all personal. But for you guys that are working in sync, and you guys that want to get to those higher levels in sync, you gotta pay attention. It's all about customer service. It's all about what the client wants, right? You guys that are at the beginning getting these reality show placements and stuff, congratulations. You're building that foundation. You rack them up. You build those placements to the sky, but don't get comfortable. All the time you guys are getting these new placements, your first placements, excuse me, you keep learning, you keep wondering, excuse me, I keep burping. Damn. You keep inquiring, how can you get to those next levels? Okay, so you got a bunch of placements, they were gratis. How can I get money up front? How can I consistently get money up front? What opportunities pay money up front as well as the back end, and so on and so forth, man. But with all that being said, I hope I didn't run my mouth too much about that one thing. You guys with me so far? Put a one in the comments. I'm gonna look in the comments real quick. See what's up. What's up, everybody? Nico, what's up? Segura, what's up? Jay Matthews, what's up, brother? Old June Music says, me and my people at Power Blast Worldwide are ready. Let's connect. I'm hoping so, man, because at this point of the game, like, we've worked really hard to get to a point where we can offer these type of opportunities, six-figure opportunities, five-figure opportunities for major, major ad placements and film placements and that kind of thing. It's going to take a certain level of creative to be able to knock those down. It's the top of the food chain type stuff. So I don't want anybody to be intimidated and stuff like that, or feel like you're not ready. Anybody who can make music can be ready. Is just a mindset. So do what you need to do. Get on ChatGPT, ask them to send you some briefs or something. Study those briefs. People that are on Smash Coast, if you guys are having issues, hit me and Kim. We're busy as hell, but we'll get to you guys know, because that's what we do. But something's got to be done, man. Something's got to be done, for real, for real. Let me go to these comments real quick. Old June Music, huh? So we'll follow you back. And yeah, send us a submission at submissions at Smash Coast, and we'll check you out. Just put Producer Whisperer Live in the subject, and I'll know you were here, and I'll check it out. And hopefully it's gonna be amazing. And before you even do that, I'm gonna let you know the type of stuff we want. Okay, so I already told you the type of briefs that we're getting. It's all custom stuff, custom songs, holiday stuff, Got to be able to do the custom stuff in a timely fashion. Got to be able to get the music in when they say that music needs to be in. We're looking for not just rap. We need female artists, male artists, R&B, hip hop, pop, Afrobeat, any kind of international stuff we're looking for. But it's got to be high level radio level stuff. So if you can do that, submissions at Smash Coast. We're looking right now. Cherry says, been in this situation for custom briefs enough times now, and it's tough. Got to be ready when it hits. So far, I've submitted for custom, but eventually gonna hit it. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Cherry. I see you working. I'm not fussing at you. You can exclude yourself from my rant. Even if you're sending music that's not what the client, what is needed, I can tell that you're trying to do that. The effort is there, and it does take practice. Sometimes, interpreting briefs and clients' needs is an art form. I'm really, really, really good at it. But it took a while to get good at it. But it really takes getting into a certain space and just looking, sometimes, like with this brief, the client can be all over the place, especially when they give you references. They'll be like, okay, we want references like this. It could be like, we want something that sounds like jazz, you know, but at the same time, it could sound like hip hop. It could sound like pop. Now you're like, what the hell? They wanted jazz, but it could say that's just saying basically in a nutshell that if you read between the lines, which is something that you're going to have to do to learn how to read briefs correctly, is that instead of looking at it like briefs like that, instead of looking at it like, okay, they want something specific, they're looking for a certain vibe or tone, right? So it might not have to be that specific genre that they asked for. They're going to tell you what the commercial is. They're going to tell you what the media is and describe the scene and the players in it and all that or whatever. So they're going to set it up for you, but it's going to be up to you to be like, oh, okay, so maybe they want this or maybe they want that. And as long as what you're sending is super high quality, usually quirky type stuff, and close to what they're talking about, even if they don't pick it, it's going to put you on their radar. You got the music in on time. It was high quality. Oh, this is dope as hell, but it's not for this particular thing. Or somebody sent something in better that beat you out, but it's going to put you on their radar and get you, on that list of people that are getting that upfront money, those big placements. Um, all of this is a marathon, man. So impatience is going to kill you as well. Let me look in the comments real quick. Gino Black Official says, oh, June in the building. Also, Black North. Oh, Black North Official. I'm scrolling. Yeah, you can't get frustrated if you don't get it. I know I submitted a few and made the adjustments, but you can't take it personal. Just learn that and try it again. Yeah, yeah, very, very good advice, man. And see, the thing is that, and I've mentioned to you guys before, sync is very competitive, right? So you guys aren't the only ones sending in music. You guys aren't the only ones trying to take stabs at these briefs. Sometimes you're going against guys that really know how to do it, so you're gonna get beat out. But it just takes experience. Don't give up. Thank your lucky stars that you're still in that position to get those briefs, whether you're knocking them down or not, because it's still a high position to even be getting them sent to your email because they're private as hell, very confidential. But just stay with it. But when you guys are getting them, right, it's better to not send music at all than to send music that shows you didn't read the brief. Okay. If you're not gonna read the brief, if briefs ain't your thing, if you're not gonna take it serious or whatever, just don't do it. Don't have anybody sending you briefs. Don't fake the funk. In other words, it's sad, but there's people on Smash Coast that will not get any more briefs because of this last round. It wasn't this particular round only. Like we've been sending briefs out and been getting this kind of stuff, but this particular time it was, like it bubbled up in me. It culminated. I was like, enough. I'm frustrated about it. So to the point to now we're gonna go recruit new people, and the people that are on the team that are just sitting around not being proactive, sitting around not sending music in, thinking that whatever it is they're thinking. I can't speculate on what people are thinking, but it's not working the way it's supposed to be working. So You guys don't want to get into that situation, man. If you as you guys are signing with libraries and you guys are rocking with sync agents, you don't want to get into a situation that a person regrets signing you, bringing you on. You want to make them happy as hell that they did it. Mad that they didn't do it sooner. But that's just the nature of the game. As a sync agent, it's my responsibility to bring new people on the team. Um, I do the creative side and I make mistakes sometimes. So it is what it is. Looking in the comments. I'm gonna ask you guys a question real quick. Okay. Just to test you guys out, to test your hustle real quick. So um so you guys want to get your very, very first placement, right? And you want to get it on TV, and you might even have a favorite show on television that you watch that you want to get your music placed on. Um, if you were going to list the first 3 steps that you would take in order to make this happen, what would those first 3 steps be? They could either be 3 steps that um you would take yourself, or 3 steps that you would give as advice for someone that's trying to do it. Let's start with the first thing. What would be the very, very first thing that you would do? Let's not write 3 steps because that's going to get crazy in the comments. What would be the very first thing you do? You never got a placement. You don't know anything about sync, but you do. There's a show you want your music on. What are you gonna do? What's your first step? Gino Black says IMDb to find who the music supervisor is. Keep going. Hold up, Gino. We're gonna see some other answers coming in, and then I'm gonna go through these. Tay says study the music in the show. That's what he did. Very good so far. Keep going. Cherry says ditto Tay. Study the music. Come on, you guys. We got 12 of you guys in here. Come on. What would you do? First thing, number one. Come on, Green Coast. Come on, Nico. Blue Dreams. What's up? What would you do? First thing. You want to get a placement? First thing you're going to do. Now, keep in mind, there's not a specific right answer. There's a few first things you can do, but there are some first things you can do that are definitely better than other first things you can do. So I'm looking down here. Inquire about their music submission policy. Gino, stop. You already said your first thing. You said IMDb. So nope, that's your first thing. You said you would IMDb to find a music supervisor, study the music in the show. Gino says send them samples, what they requested. See, Gino's not even answering. Gino's not even answering the question that I'm asking correctly. So that's not even good. I said one. He's gave me 3 answers. Said the first one. Jay Matthews says tune fine. Petro says create a few tracks in the vein of the show music style, then reach out to the supervisor and ask they're interested or looking. Keep going. I'll take a couple more and then I'm gonna break this down for y'all. Elliot says, create music in the style of the show, contact supervisor, do background research on them. Close. These are some Green Coast says, reference the music being played to see if the music you make fix. Green Coast, Green Coast is onto something. See the thing, all right, we're gonna stop right there. You guys can go ahead and pop a couple more in, and we're gonna stop right there for a second. See, the thing of it is that being successful in sync licensing, of course, you have to have, certain skill set and talent or whatever, but you have to have a certain mindset. That's why we call this the sync hustle mindset. Your mindset is going to determine how you move, the decisions you make, what you do, right? Um, so before you do anything, when you say I want to get a placement, you evaluate how far in this game do you want to get? Like, what are your goals in sync? Just like anything, like, you don't go to college in most cases unless you know what you want to do when you get out of college, right? Um, People that join, go to college just to get an AA and don't know what they're going to do, they usually drop out because they don't have anything, specific. So the very first thing that you do when you decide, okay, you know what, I want to get in this sync game, is you formulate yourself a set of goals, right? And why do you do this? I know I've used this analogy before, but just bear with me. Okay. It's the same thing if somebody took a bunch of, wood and girders and stuff and threw them at your feet and said, build me a skyscraper. Okay. If you did that, if you just started winging it and grabbing tools and putting stuff together, you're going to build a hot mess no matter how talented you are. Okay. The higher the floors that you build, the worse it's going to get. But if you have plans, aka blueprints, right, then plans force you to take steps. You have to build the foundation first. You have to build this. You got to do the plumbing. You got to do the electrical, and you have to do these things in steps in order to achieve a structure that's sound and lasting, right? So same thing, you want a career that's sound and lasting. You don't want to jump into something, half-heartedly. And even though you might get a little bit of success, I got some placements in here and there, you find yourself in a stagnant place. You can't go higher, you can't elevate because you didn't formulate a plan. You didn't receive the tools in the first place that you really needed to get to that high level. You just jumped in it. So again, with my analogy, yeah, you can start grabbing tools and building stuff. And if you're talented, yeah, you're going to end up building something, right? You might build something that people could even go in, like, a building that people could go in, but it's not going to be the skyscraper that was requested. It's not going to be the building with all of its, characteristics and nuances that could have been, because you didn't take the time, you didn't formulate a plan. So the very, very, very first thing you do when you decide I want to get placements is you decide, how far do I want to go with these placements? Do I just want to get my beats on TV? That's where a lot of producers go wrong, because they don't think any further than that. They just think, man, I want to get my beats on TV, get paid, get this paper, right? Not realizing that sync licensing is a full-blown industry that, you could become a Hans Zimmer in one day, if you do what you need to do. Ask Gildy Flores and he'll tell you. Um, so the first thing you do is a formulate a plan. Once you have your plan formulated, that forces you to take A, B, C steps, right? So if your plan is to just get placements, right, then your steps are only going to be involving, getting those placements, right? Um, so yeah, to answer your question, the first thing would be to formulate a plan, and your plan is going to dictate how you move after that. You guys are getting stuff on TV. The first thing that I would do after I formulated that plan is I would assess my skill set, right? How dope am I? Can I make the kind of music that I'm wanting to get on this TV? And then some of you guys answered. You go and you go watch that TV show that you had your eye on. You watch 10 minutes, 15 minutes of it with your eyes closed. Take your eyesight out of it, just concentrate on your ears. You listen to the background music, listen to how that music is used, listen to the transitions, listen to how they're coming in from commercial, going out to commercial, listen to the sting outs, how they're used, how intense they are, listen to the style of music, how dope it is. how long the cues are, listen to every nuance of how that music is being used in the media, then come back to yourself and be like, can I specialize in this? Can I really bring value to this show? Can I make music like this or even better consistently and bring value to the show? If that's the case, if you feel like that you make kick-ass music that you can specialize in because that's how you want to come at that music supervisor or that agent, then at that point you put together a small 7 song or 7 cue playlist for that music supervisor, that entity, and you hit them up. I'm not going to tell you how to get into the emails because you guys already know how to do that, but you get them the music and you let them know, hey, I specialize in something. Me personally, if it was me when I reached out to them, I've done my due diligence, so I know what show that they're working on. I probably know what show that they worked on before that. I'm gonna make reference to it. Hey, I like that that piece that you used in scene such and such on episode da 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 is really dope. But I don't want to waste your time. Da da da. But I'm gonna do something in that email to show that it's a personal email. It's not just a copy and paste email that I know who I'm talking to, and I have a specific reason for talking to them. Um, these little things are the things that get you to the higher levels. It's not extremely difficult to get your first placements, right? That's not hard. The hardest thing about getting your first placements, besides learning the ABCs, is waiting it out, is the patience. That's where most people fail, is they just can't wait to get that first one. They're not hitting up enough music supervisors, they're not working hard enough to get it, and they're not patient enough to do it. But then once you get to that point where you're getting your first placements, it's almost like starting all over again because there's levels. You want to get to video games, you got to have got to do certain things. You want to get to commercials, got to do certain things. But let me tell you, everything that's necessary to do, as difficult as it may seem, as long as it may take to do, it's absolutely worth it to do it. I don't care what anybody says, because if you're an indie creative, you're making music, sync is way too beneficial for you to not pursue it. One placement change your life. And I'm not talking about financially. I'm talking about exposure. I'm talking about putting your song, an artist song on a very popular, on a Stranger Things or a very, very popular television show or in a film or whatever, change your whole paradigm. Okay. Have people looking at you that wasn't looking at you. Change your whole um your value, how people want to pay you and everything. Like your whole status changes when that happens, and how you're able to take advantage of that. So I say sync is the way to go for anybody who's doing music at all. And yeah, let me go to these comments here real quick. Create a few tracks in a so some of you are on point, create a few tracks in a style of music, reach out to the music supervisor. But the reason why I said all that is to make a point that there's steps that you take, right? And you can't skip the steps if you're trying to get to the higher levels. Um, the thing that I love about sync probably the most um, isn't the fact that your music can get exposed or even that you get paid for it. It's what it turns you into if you do it. Okay. I was 37-year-old music producer when I started this. I was a responsible dude, like kept my jobs and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But I didn't have an LLC, I didn't have a company, didn't know I could do this. Everything that I'm doing now is something that I've learned since then, right? So running this company, talking to music supervisors, getting placements, everything I'm teaching you guys, I've learned you know, since then. And so sync has turned me into something, right? If I had never pursued sync, I wouldn't be a multi-genre producer like I am now. I can do pretty much anything now because I had to learn how to do EDM. I had to learn how to do neo soul. I had to learn how to do these styles that these music supervisors were asking for, or I wasn't going to be able to take advantage of the opportunities. And away from the music side, the business side, I didn't know anything about PROs or registrations or my taxes and that kind of thing. When you run your own business, you got to do your own taxes. They don't just take it out of your check or whatever. So, um, my pursuit of sync licensing has not only made me successful in my music, but it's turned me into an entrepreneur. I had to be one. I mean, there was just no way to avoid it. And so now my peers are not only music producers and composers, but music library owners and company owners like myself. Sync this did this for me. I had the guts to stick with it and do it, but because sync has such structure within it, and you have to learn these things, these steps in order to be successful in it, if you do it, you're going to be a monster. You're going to be able to do other things. Like I can start other businesses if I want to. I don't have to just do sync licensing or do music. I know how a business structure works by doing my LLC. I know how to do my taxes and all of that stuff. So I can do this, translates to any business. I'm way better with people now. We Smash Coast, we have over 120 people signed to us, right? I have to have conversations with these people, a lot of which I have to convince them, or teach them or whatever. There was no producer whisperer at first, and now I'm on camera every week talking to you guys, and I have this wealth of knowledge to share with you guys. Like Sync did this. Sync created the producer whisperer. Sync created Smash Codes. Sync created basically everything that I have in my life right now. Um, it created a monster. It created a beast. I'm out there. We shopping for property right now and all kind of stuff. I've invested in crypto and all kind of stuff because of sync licensing, right? So if you do the work, it's gonna be a lot better than you guys might actually think, because it's gonna turn you into something that you aren't right now. It's gonna make you better. So don't be scared, man. Don't be scared of the hard things. Do the hard things. The hard things make you better. Look in the comments real quick. I use TuneFind to find the producers in the shows and then reach out. Working with producers based on their strengths. Some producers are making music especially for ads, some video games. I study the artists landing ads or the artists, video games, etc. Study the lyrics, flow, styles, and all very different. Yeah, the more you study, the more you're going to be armed to be able to take advantage of situations when they come. So Jay Matthews, very smart, very smart. So the comments are kind of, you guys must be listening right now. I'm not seeing comments coming through. You guys with me? Give me a one in the comments. Are you with me still? Give me a one. I don't want to waste your time, man. I told you we were going to get into it today. What's so cool is going back to my rant about being consistent and training potential clients and customers that they can depend on you. Once you get to this point, they'll do anything for you. And um I've been able to take advantage of opportunities just through relationships. Music supervisors will hit me up and be like, "Hey, man, it'd be a project they're not even working on. They'll have a peer, another music supervisor, will have a conversation with them and, with the person that and they'll be like, you know what, I know somebody that might be able to help you out. And then they'll hit me up and be like, hey, man, I'm not working on the show, but a friend of mine is. And, I don't know what the budget is, but, I know that you could come through for him. He's just basically trying to hook his music supervisor friend up with somebody that's dependable. He might not even know the details of what's going on with the brief and all that or whatever. They just connecting people. Who can I rely on? This guy, I'm going to point this guy and put him over there. They don't even ask for nothing. Right. So that's one thing I love about the sync side versus the music industry side, because, on the music industry side, it's the total opposite. It's cutthroat. People are like gatekeeping every connection. They're not trying to refer people to anything unless they're cut in on it. You know, a lot of times in an unfair fashion. So yeah, I didn't want to go on the live today and just rant about how great sync licensing is, but it is. And um I don't think enough people realize that, because I don't think enough people are putting effort into it like they should be. And it's sad. The people that are on the team that are doing that, or I should say not doing that, are really, really dope producers, like exceptionally talented, could make a hit record for anybody. Um, Super, super dope musically. But when it comes to the hustle and mindset, lacking like crazy, like just lacking like crazy. And so the opportunities are just floating by them. And when I say opportunities, when you're getting briefs that are 50K and up, that's life changing. 200K. If I got if I got a brief right now for $200,000, that's $100,000 for you. So $100,000, we're working on a brief right now that's like 250. So that's life changing, right? I'm sure, like, if any one of you guys had an extra 50, 100 grand drop in your account right now, that wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, I got a couple more dollars in my account. That would be some life changing shit, right? Am I Put another one in a comment if 100 grand would be life changing? Let me see. Or if it would be no big deal to you, you don't have to say nothing. But let me see a one real quick. If it's like, if 100 grand to change your life, like change your life, $100,000. Well, there it is. There it is. There. Each and every single one of you are in a position to be able to make that kind of money. All of y'all, from Elliot B to Segura to Track Shack, Petrol, every single one of you guys have the opportunity to make that kind of money. And I'm not talking about get a placement and get 100 grand. I'm talking about consistently get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 placements in a year that get that kind of money, right? It's a small community, but it's not a small community just because the people that are getting those placements are so specialized in their talents. It's a small community because the people that are getting those placements consistently have proven over time that they are dependable, right? Not just that they have the talent, but I could go to this person with my, oh, I'm working with Gucci right now. I'm working with Ferrari as a client. And, they got this European ad campaign with 7 commercials that they want us to work on or whatever, you know. Now I'm gonna, have to sick one of my guys over there to, work back and forth with that client. It's going to take, who am I going to get? I'm going to get that person that has proven themselves. I'm going to get that person that I know is not going to embarrass us with that client. They're going to, knock that project out and be dependable and have fun doing it and want to do it. See, a lot of things, a lot of what I've noticed lately is that, like, see, you guys, for the most part, want to do sync. That's a goal for you. You guys want to be in sync. You want to learn the game. You want to know the game. You want to level up. You want all the placements. You want everything good that comes with it, right? Um, but a lot of people that I'm seeing, some on the team as well, um, they just want placements, right? They don't want a career, quote unquote, in sync licensing. They just want placements, right? So they're not going to do the work in order to have a career in the game. They're just going to drop some music off, and that's pretty much it, to hope to get placements. um these people will never make that kind of money. They'll never be in a position to make that kind of money because, I'm sorry, when it comes to these clients paying 50 grand, 75, 100, 200 grand, there's gatekeeping, but it's not the kind of gatekeeping you might think. It's not like a snobby kind of, like, we're better than you, keep you from getting the money. Like, nah, anybody that's willing to prove themselves over time and can do that work, has that talent, can get to that club. We did it. Smash Coast did it. It took us, I've been in the game, let's see, '03, so about '05. Since '05, you know, um, consistently hustling the sync thing. Took a little break, worked with another company a few years ago. Big mistake. Don't need to go there with it. But the thing is just in, what are we, 2023? So in 2022, we started really, now keep in mind, over years I've done a lot of commercial placements, but they've always been through a third party, another sync agent that another sync agent that had the plug. I didn't have a plug, but we had the music. um but 2022 is when we really started getting our own connections with ad companies, right? And it took, um from what the time Kim came with me. So Kim has been with me about 6 years now, seven, God, about 6, 7 years, 6 years or whatever. So when Kim came on, when we basically started Smash Coast Over. So basically, in the last 6 or 7 years, going back from zero to now, is it took us that long to get to the point where we're like, okay, we need to start getting placements. We need to brand our company. We need to make a bunch of relationships. We need to prove ourselves. We need to, get placements for no money, get placements for little money. Don't turn down any placements. Like, we just needed to do whatever we needed to do. We needed to prove ourselves. So what I'm telling you guys is the same thing that I've had to do as a company. It's not any different, right? Had to wait, put that work in, you know, send music to these briefs, keep open line of communication with these music soups and these sync agents and companies and this and that. And in 2022, shout out to Kim. God love Kim to death. We started cracking these ad companies, which is the direct, so no more third parties, right? We'll still work with the third parties. Don't get me wrong, but you know, but it took us that long to get to that point, right? To where you know now they're sending us briefs for 50K and up because we've proven ourselves. They've opened their arms to us as far as establishing a relationship between us and their clients, which is like, Kellogg's and Toyota and Nissan and McDonald's and Taco Bell and like these brands, Microsoft, these brands or whatever. So it takes time. But trust me, I'm not telling you, I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I'm telling you something that we've done ourselves. I've seen the results of going from not having it to having it like we have it now, and you guys can do that 100%. But it's going to take paying attention to the briefs. It's going to take being proactive. It's going to take immersing yourself in this industry. People that are just, I'm trying to get some placements. I'm trying to get some placements. That's all they're going to get is placements if they get that, and they're probably not going to get no money up front for those, right? So telling you, man, it's exciting to get those first reality shows and sports placements, but 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you're gonna want some money up front. You're gonna want to level up and start getting some, some scripted, you know, prime time network placements or some, $10,000 ESPN sports placements, which we see, and that type of thing. So it just takes paying attention and really immersing yourself in the game. Anything that you approach casually, you're going to get casual results. So if you go hard at it, you're going to get better results at it. And like I said, this is something just based on the sheer need of the music. There's always going to be opportunities for us to do this. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and open up a quick Q&A. I know I ran my mouth this time. Sorry if I got a little bit upset, but it was a frustrating week, man. Like I said, I'm competitive as hell. I don't like not sending music to a client, not being able to fulfill it. We've built a reputation over the years of as being a kick-ass company in that aspect. Like we love sending music early. We love sending music that's hotter than everybody else's. And we just love being in that space. So to not being able to do that is frustrating as hell to me. And I'm gonna work my damnedest to, bolster this team up to not have to go through that again. So Q&A, and you guys are gonna be free to get to your Friday. Quick Q&A. Track Shack, our stories are almost identical. I've gotten some money with Track Shack too. Matter of fact, we need to link up again. Track Shack, we need to go ahead and link up. I think I need you, bro. I think I need you, man. I need my brother, man. We need to go ahead and link up. Walter Boy says, Smash Coast. We're non-exclusive. The library that we're putting together, though, is exclusive, though. Sync Plus is our official library, and it will be exclusive, 100%. Yeah, Track Shack, you know how to get a hold of me. We follow each other on everything, Facebook, whatever. Let's chit chat. See if I can help you out over there. Let me help you. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you. So, any questions, real quick? If not, we're gonna get out of here. Q&A. Q&A. Let's go. And as usual, I appreciate you guys for showing up, and all the new people. Make sure that you let everybody know about this live stream, man. We go live every Friday, 11 o'clock PST, and it's fun, man. We talk about it. This one wasn't as fun. It was a little bit more serious for you new people, but like I said, it was this week. This week was a little bit, so I had to vent. But so no questions. All right, that's what's up. I'm gonna get out of here then. You guys have a really, really dope Friday. Dope, safe weekend. And for you guys that are not going to be able to go to the Shades of Sync conference next week or stream it, because I know that it's a little expensive. I won't talk about, the importance of investing in yourselves. You guys already know that, but I know, 450, 350, it's a little bit steep for some people. Um, so I'm going to be in Atlanta next Friday. Um, my stage time is at 1 o'clock their time. So that's 12, 11. I think that's 10 a.m. here or whatever. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do any live stream next week. Um, but I will hit you live at that time because I'm speaking for an hour. So while I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to go live. It just, excuse me, probably won't be at 11 o'clock. But just keep an eye out on, excuse me, guy. I don't know what the hell my middle-aged guts is doing right now. I'm gonna take me some Tums or something with my old self. Um, I will live stream during the day sometimes. So just look for me on Saturday and Friday next week, and I will be hitting you guys up. As a matter of fact, no, I speak on Saturday. Friday, I will be in Atlanta. So yeah, I should be good. I don't know what my schedule is, so I don't know. Just look for me on Friday, man. I'm babbling right now. Let me get my butt out of here. Let me look at the comments real quick. Um, any of the conference streamed or recorded? Yeah, it's live stream, but it's 350 for the live stream. So yeah, I know. Conferences are expensive, man. They are. They're a great opportunity to put yourself in front of people, and they're necessary. I've gone to a bunch of them, paid for a bunch of them. And they're necessary. You want to be able to stick in people's minds, man. And there's nothing like eye contact and a firm handshake to be able to keep you on somebody's radar when it's time for them to get some work. Oh yeah, I remember Petrol. He was at the such and such. And plus, it shows a lot to a person when you're willing to invest in yourself like that. They know that you mean it when you're there. They know, okay, this person is really trying to do this thing, and it shows. And I know, money is money, 450 for a ticket, but like, how much was your computer? How much is, I mean, shoot, Omnisphere is $300. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here with this MPC X, right? It was $1,200. Monitor speakers are, so I'm not gonna go down that road, but going to conferences, paying for courses, that kind of thing is just as important as any piece of software or equipment that you can get as far as investing in yourself. So there it is there. Walter says, I tell all of my students that do my master classes about you, and also sent you a shout out on LinkedIn this morning. I appreciate you, Walter, man. Like super, super, super. Elliot B, please follow and we'll follow you back, man. I appreciate you being here. So if you guys missed anything, be sure to come back and check this video out on YouTube. It's going to be up, and we want you guys to have a great weekend. So you guys have a good weekend. Be safe out there. That's what's up on the Producer Whisper. Peace.